Hamas attack on Israel is affecting the Athens community. Then we'll take you to the annual North Georgia Folk Festival here in Athens and share more on the history of folk. Plus, we'll show you how a nonprofit organization is supplying food-insecure children from Barrow County schools with meals on the weekends. All this and more here on Grady Newsource, live at 5.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College of the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Good evening and welcome to Grady Newsource. I'm Sailor Betts. The violence in Israel remains ongoing after attacks by Palestinian militant group Hamas. We begin tonight by taking a look at the local effects here in Athens. Grady Newsource reporter Hadia Williams shares how students in Athens are spreading awareness about the current conflict.
Israel has declared war on the terrorist group Hamas after surprise attacks against the country this past weekend. Over 900 civilians in Israel and over 600 Palestinians have been killed. Many have also been taken hostage.
Well, my mom has been in Israel for the past 2 weeks. She actually just got home half an hour ago. She landed in Atlanta, and so that was a big relief. Saturday night, she spent the night in a bomb shelter, the whole night.
Here at the Arch today, students directly affected by the tragedy and those who show support are raising awareness
for what is happening in the state of Israel, urging people to stay informed and to donate.
Either just to educate themselves and check in on your Jewish friends, make sure they're doing okay, because a lot of people have loved ones or very close friends who are currently living there and going through this conflict. But also, if you're willing to donate, we have multiple opportunities to do that as well, to various humanitarian aid organizations that are currently working over there.
I've just seen a lot in the media. It's been really upsetting, and we just wanted to come out here, show solidarity, show a community, and bring some positivity.
There will be an informational meeting that will be led by the Atlanta Consul General of Israel tomorrow at 5 p.m. There, the exact timeline and events of the war between Israel and Hamas will be clearly explained and discussed. Grady Newsource, Hadia Williams.
Election Day is under a month away in Jackson County, where multiple municipalities will hold polls. Grady Newsource reporter Joe Copshow covers how polling could affect both the region and the nation.
Municipalities in Jackson County will have elections in the coming month. However, the lines to vote in said elections may not be very long. Municipal elections typically have lower voter turnout, as demonstrated by the Pendergrass special election, which received less than 100 votes. However, in these scenarios, Dr. Charles Bullock explains that these elections provide more than a chance to influence local government.
This small turnout in a municipal election sometimes allows the local election board to try out new equipment or new ideas.
Just last year, a lawsuit which was dismissed was filed alleging fraud with the Jackson County voting system, thus meaning that these local elections will provide an important testing ground.
Because paper ballots like this have gone out of style, it's important for districts to test their technology, especially around national elections.
These local elections allow an opportunity for Elections Director Jennifer Logan and her staff to test out new equipment and technology in elections that have 7 ballots and sometimes come down to just 1 or 2 votes.
Find it harder for the municipality elections. I never look forward to the city elections. To me, they're much more difficult. But yes, this year we've had so many elections that we've been and definitely gotten a lot of practice for the 2024 elections coming up.
While Election Day is November 7th, early voting in Jackson County begins just 1 week from today. And this polling gives the Jackson County Board of Elections a chance to ensure secure voting, both in local races and upcoming national races. Reporting for Newsource, I'm Joe Copshow.
The Read Around Athens project is hosting a book drive in order to encourage people to improve their literacy. Grady Newsource reporter Ben Padavina joins us now live from the Athens-Clarke County Library for more information on this event. Ben, what are the details for this project?
Yeah, Sailor, we're here at the library, which is just one of two locations for Athens and Northeast Georgia residents to drop off books. That drop off is inside the library's main lobby with a blue bucket, excuse me. Now, I spoke with a worker with Athens Books for Keeps, which is a nonprofit here, and we will get her thoughts on that. And here's a little bit more about the upcoming book drive. The Read Around Athens project is holding a book drive for Northeast Georgia residents until October 13th. People are encouraged to donate books ahead of National Family Literacy Month, which is held in November. The mission of the drive is to restock little free libraries spread across Athens, which looks like small houses. People may take the books for free or drop off a book for others to enjoy. It's a mission that the Athens-based nonprofit Books for Keeps also holds near and dear to the heart.
I love an opportunity to speak with a kid who thinks that they don't like reading, and talking to them about what they do like and bridging that gap. I had a student at one of our elementary schools tell me that he didn't want to get any books because he really didn't like reading and wasn't excited about reading. And so I asked him what he was excited about, and he said he was excited about drawing. And I said, great, we have some books about drawing. Would you like to get better at it? He was very excited about that.
To find available Little Free Libraries, you can visit the website littlefreelibrary.org and click on the Find tab for registered Little Free Libraries within Athens or wherever you may be. Athens has 29 registered libraries. Popular hotspots for Little Free Libraries include downtown and Five Points. Now, organizers of this book drive do hope that the ability to provide free books will help to boost reading proficiency among children and teenagers here in Clark County. Athens and Northeast Georgia residents are able to drop books off at the library and also at the Athens-Clark County Police Department until October 13th. For Grady Newsource, I'm Ben Padavina. Sailor, back to you in the studio.
Thank you for that information, Ben. We move now to a nonprofit that has partnered with Barrow County Schools to supply food-insecure students with bags of food to bring home on the weekends. Grady Newsource reporter Lindsay Bornhorst gives us a look at how the organization's work brings food to the table.
It's 9 a.m. sharp on Monday morning. Volunteers of all ages gather in the New Path Center, unboxing non-perishable food, stacking items to be packed into hundreds of bags. Tiffany Ring is the executive director of New Path, a nonprofit organization started in 2017 to target generational poverty. The Weekend Food Bag program is their largest initiative, which is meant to provide students with food security on the weekends.
So we are very specific about the kind of items that go into our food bags. And so we want them to be quality, shelf-stable, easy to prepare food items.
In Barrow County, 11% of children under 18 live in poverty, and in 2020, 50.1% of students qualified for free and reduced lunch. Many of these students experience food insecurity.
It's a big process.
New Path has volunteers throughout the county. Some volunteers are regulars, but new people come to the packings every week.
We just kind of have fallen into a routine.
The packings have a rotating menu with specific foods and quantities placed in each bag, depending on whether the student is in elementary, middle, or high school. After the bags are packed, they are placed in bins to be loaded in volunteers' vehicles. Then, they drive the bags to each school within the program for students to take home on Fridays. Sims Academy is one of the 17 schools within Barrow County that give their students the option of being supplied with weekend food bags by New Path. Teacher Amy Wilson says the school offers every parent and student the opportunity to join the weekend bag program.
And it doesn't solve all their problems. I know it doesn't ease all of their stress, but it does allow them to relax a little bit and hopefully feel supported.
UGA professor Stephanie Jones, who researches school poverty, noted that having a predictable source of food on the weekends is important. However, she explains that the program is not a solution to generational poverty.
It is a structural problem that people don't have enough money to keep food in their home. It's not an individual problem.
As of now, New Path provides approximately 400 bags per week with food purchased using funds from various donors. Ring says as the program grows, she hopes they will be able to continue to provide students with meals and have fundraising events in the future. For Barrow County with Grady Newsource, I'm Lindsay Bornhorst.
I'm joined now by Lindsay in studio. Lindsay, that's a large number of bags to pack. How long does it take those volunteers?
Yeah, so there are about 25 to 30 volunteers that come to all the packings on Mondays, and it usually takes them about an hour because they have so many participants that are regular, and they get new ones every week as well. So
yeah, that's awesome to hear. And I know with it being a school program, those school breaks can affect scheduling going forward. How does New Path adjust the program to account for those school breaks?
So the program plans ahead for the school breaks, and they pack double the amount of food for all the students going into any kind of school breaks.
All right, sounds good. And we're going to go into a commercial break, but afterwards they'll have a recap of the 5K benefit event at the UGA golf course, and we'll see where Barrow County is rezoning from agricultural to industrial. You're watching Grady Newsource live at 5.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You're home before sunrise. On top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Tomorrow, October 10th, is the final day to register to vote for the upcoming election cycle in Athens. Anyone who has not registered by tomorrow's deadline will be ineligible for this year's election day, Tuesday, November 7th. For more information on how to register to vote, visit the Athens-Clarke County government website at accgov.com. In Barrow County, a piece of land off Highway 81 was just rezoned from an agricultural residential piece of land to become an industrial hub. Grady Newsource reporter Gabby Kanzian tells us about these plans.
This piece of land is about to look very different because it has been approved to become an industrial hub on a busy state highway. Project Ackerman 81 can now start construction after the 2.21-acre tract has been rezoned to join a bigger piece of land at its border. It will be used for industrial warehousing space with multiple truck courts and parking.
So by having another property that's not going to be changed to a residential, but is actually going to be changed to a commercial and industrial development, it helps to bounce off our tax base a little bit more.
Barrow County has historically been very residential on its tax base, and this industrial development is expected to provide some benefit to the residents of the county. Commissioner Ward says there have not been any concerns when it comes to that specific parcel because the rest of the site had already been zoned, but the county is still separating the residential areas with berms.
Our code does require vegetative buffering and screening between industrial and residential.
The natural gas and piping business next door to the site's workers were unaware the piece of land was combining to become one big developmental project, but they expressed no concern.
I might be on the. I think we're okay with it. Yeah, we don't have a problem with it. It probably won't affect us directly.
Highway 81's traffic will most likely increase, but the state eventually has plans to widen the highway, which will benefit Ackerman 81 and other areas along it.
And so hopefully any negative traffic that comes as a result of this new development will eventually be alleviated by some of those projects that the state will work on.
Gabby Kanzian, Grady Newsource.
The 4th annual Spark in the Dark 5K took place this past weekend at the UGA golf course. The event benefits UGA student Kristen Semaria, who passed away in a 2016 car accident. Grady Newsource reporter Kelsey Ball has the latest.
Christina Semaria, known as Teeny, was a student at UGA. She and her 4 friends went off campus to pray before studying for finals when they were in a fatal car accident. She was in Alpha Chi Omega at UGA and was a worship leader. The Spark in the Dark 5K took place at the UGA golf course, inspired by Teeny's blog called Spark in the Dark.
The month before the accident, she wrote a blog called Spark in the Dark, and it was about being the light in the world, and so that's how we formed her foundation, and we called it the Teeny Semaria Spark in the Dark Foundation. And from there, it's just grown.
Out of the 4 years, this has been the most successful, raising over $28,000. And all that money goes towards scholarships, financial aid for students, and money to send students to camps to WinShape and Passion. They have given over 11 scholarships annually.
I think that this event is so important because we get to spread awareness around Athens, and the scholarships are a huge part of it. So the scholarships not only go to members of my sorority, but also people that go to UGA, Milton High School, and so many other students that are in financial need. So I think it's so important that Alpha Chi Omega and the Athens community get to give back.
Kathy Semaria says that even though what happened to Teeny was a tragedy, we have been able to help so many people and hope to continue to do that. For Grady Newsource, I'm Kelsey Ball.
After the break, Grady Newsource reporter Raven Alsobrook will have more on this week's weather forecast. You're watching Grady Newsource live at 5.
Finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
You know, a lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, that's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
There is a road laid out for me. First night here, but Amy seems cool. Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Say hello to cool weather this week. As the temperature dropped this weekend, we are looking at a beautiful day with a high of 75 degrees filled with sun and a low of 51 degrees. For the rest of the week, we are looking at sunny days on both Monday and Tuesday. We are also looking at clouds and potential rain throughout the rest of the week. On Tuesday, we will have a high of 80 degrees and a low of 56 degrees. And on Wednesday, we're looking at a start with a cloudy day with a high of 77 degrees and a low of 55 degrees with a 30% chance of rain. Moving on to Thursday and Friday, we are looking at chances of rain happening with a high of 68 degrees and a low of 60 degrees with a 40% chance of rain. And on Friday, we are looking at a high of 71 degrees and a low of 59 degrees with a 60% chance of rain. The National Weather Service issued a special weather statement on cities in North and Central Georgia about a large rise in fire conditions. They advised that people who burn items outside be extra cautious throughout this afternoon. After the break, Grady Newsource reporter Ethan Wells gives us an update on the Bulldogs, Falcons, and Braves. You're watching Grady Newsource live at 5.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually, once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
He was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers. He connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
A place that I call home. I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please. I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Good afternoon. My name is Ethan Wells, and this is Grady Newsource Sports. The number 1 ranked Georgia Bulldogs battled the Kentucky Wildcats in Sanford Stadium on Saturday. Kentucky entered the game undefeated, but the Dogs dominated this SEC East matchup, winning 51-13 behind a strong performance from quarterback Carson Beck. Beck went 28 for 35 with 389 yards and 4 touchdowns. To no one's surprise, Brock Bowers leads the Dogs in receiving with 7 catches for 132 yards and a touchdown, moving him past A.J. Green to second on UGA's all-time touchdown reception list. Moving over to the NFL, the Falcons improved to 3-2 with a 21-19 victory over the Houston Texans. The Falcons pulled out a close game on a last-second 37-yard field goal by Younghoe Koo. And the Braves are back in action for postseason baseball tonight in Truist Park. The Braves dropped Game 1 of this best-of-5 series versus the Phillies, and the Braves are looking to get the bats going after being shut out for the first time at home this season in Game 1. Braves ace Max Fried will be on the mound for Game 2. That's all we have for sports. Coming up after the break, we'll take you to the annual North Georgia Folk Festival here in Athens and share more on the history of folk.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
The North Georgia Folk Festival is bustling with personality and history. Grady Newsource reporter Aiden Colter shows how folk is more than just a casual word, but an important aspect of rural North Georgia culture.
Often in the South, especially, there's a very strong tradition of folk pottery, and most of the folk potters learn it from their families.
Folk is art that is passed down from generation to generation. Peter Luce, a local artist with no formal training, explains why he defines himself as a folk artist.
You don't get to claim any credentials if you don't have any, so they kind of cast you in the world of folk, just the people that make and do and don't worry about it too hard.
Mary Mays tells a story about a friend who is taking a ceramics class at the University of Georgia, discussing the different artistic ways to make a handle. He went home and asked his grandfather, a folk potter, what he thinks about when he is creating pottery.
So Bill Gordy told Daryl, I think about the human hand. So I thought that was a really good point. I think about the human hand too.
Vendors from all over North Georgia and the Southeast come to show off their handmade crafts. But as Mary Mays retires from organizing artists for the festival, Peter Luce is stepping up to make a few changes.
Mary wanted a break after 15 years. I like the idea of people actually sitting and doing, but I love to have people the opportunity to see things being made.
This year marks the 38th year that vendors have come from all over to sell handcrafted art, baskets, pottery, and jewelry at the North Georgia Folk Festival. Georgia has a rich history of folk artistry, briefly highlighted at the North Georgia Folk Festival. Historically, folk craftsmanship was a means of survival, as it is today with many of these local artists. I'm Aiden Colter with Grady Newsource.
Thank you all for joining us this evening. I'm Sailor Betts. Have a great night.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You're home before sunrise. On top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.